Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily podcast, where we demystify buzzwords and emerging complex technology trends to learn more about the real problems that they're solving and the ROI that these tech projects can deliver. And today's guest is Andrew Wilkins, CEO and co-founder of a company called Futr.ai. And they are a company that's proud to include the police, the NHS and so many different charities and social services, as well as private companies, as their valued customers. And over the last year alone, Futr has accelerated its work with organisations in helping them implement AI chatbots to ensure increased engagement with their end users, while also delivering a seamless customer service experience. Now, in particular, their work with the NHS and various UK police forces, including launching a live chat support service for domestic abuse victims, is something that I want to learn more about today. But before we start today's interview, I just wanted to give a quick mention to our sponsors, because this month the podcast is brought to you by Flipper, which is the #1 marketplace to buy and sell online businesses and startups. So, do you run your own online business? And have you ever considered selling your website, your store, your tech, or your app? Because with world-class combined matching technology, dedicated brokers and end-to-end services, all at the most efficient price, Flipper is making it simple to sell your online business. So to get a free valuation, visit my friends at Flipper.com/techtalks, where each month thousands of online business owners exit with Flipper. Again, visit Flipper.com/techtalks. That's FLIPPA. Flipper.com/techtalks. Buckle up and hold on tight, because no matter where you're listening in the world, I'm going to beam your ears all the way to the UK, where you can join me and Andrew Wilkins, CEO and co-founder of Futr.ai. Their chatbots are now being used in over 1,000 organisations around the world. But most importantly, we're going to talk about the value that they're bringing. So a massive warm welcome to the show, Andy. Can you tell the listeners a little more about who you are and what you do?
Sure. Hi. Well, thank you firstly for having me. It's a great pleasure. My name's Andy Wilkins. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Futr.ai, and we are a conversational AI platform. And very simply, we simplify access to key services and information that customers need. So whether that is citizens accessing services from the police or from the council or from a housing association, or whether it's someone accessing the services of a charity, or indeed someone just wanting to access a retailer's or an e-commerce site services, what we do is we make that simpler through things like auto chat, live chat, video chat, and all sorts of other tools that we drop into the customer service teams.
Fantastic. And I'm looking forward to finding out more about Futr.ai and where this technology is heading. But before we do that, can I take you back in time, before even AI was a thing? Can you remember where your passion for tech came from, or the moment that possibly put you on the path you're on today, or something that lit the spark in you? Or as they say in those Hollywood movies, what is your origin story?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I sort of came out of the law and then went into finance, and it was probably sort of the 2008, 2009 time when obviously we had we had the crash that happened, and as a result, the FCA, the financial regulator, stood up and said, actually, everyone's got to do a better job. And what I took from that was the ability to use technology to really bring services forward. At the time, I was working for a corporate finance house, but I quickly left and set up my own wealth management platform. I didn't come from a technology background, but I saw that there was a gap in the market to be able to basically provide both customers and their financial advisors with the tools to do a better job. And that's really where it came from, being able to look up and say, actually, there are now technological solutions which make this easier. Transparency, fairness to customers, keeping customers informed, all of these sorts of things which previously were quite tricky and done incredibly badly, could be done really, really simply with the use of the latest technology. And I think that theme is sort of carried on throughout my cycle of entrepreneurial endeavors. And Futr was really a result of that, sort of sitting back with my co-founder and saying, look, actually, with the technology that we have now, surely we can make access to services better, simpler, easier. and more universal. And so again, it was that sort of thread again over and over.
What a great story. And of course, it was that path that would eventually lead you to Futr.ai, which is proud to include, I believe, the police, the NHS, and so many other amazing charities and social services, as well as private organisations as valued customers. But can you tell me more about the story behind the company and the kind of problems you set out to solve with technology?
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, well, Lee and I knew each other. Lee's my co-founder. He's the technical genius behind the company. And, he approached me with an idea probably in 2016, back end of 2016. And I was looking for another exciting project. So we took that away and we really looked into the market, where the gaps were. And we came up with what you see today. And the mission we started with then continues to be the mission today, which is we democratize access to services. And we thought, well, look, there is such a need for services to become more universal. No one should be left out of doing serious things like contacting the police or doing more mundane things like ordering a new bin because of the time of day they work, because of the language they speak, because of the technical proficiency they have. And looking at all of those, we looked at how natural language processing was coming to the fore, how the machine learning algorithms were getting so much better, how people were starting to use other channels as well, like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and everything else. And suddenly it sort of dawned on us that this was a great collection of technologies that we could pull together, that we could deploy into police services, councils, housing associations, charities, and more, so that they could make their services more accessible. And that's really where we started. We fell quite quickly into the police. They were our first customer. And we developed a whole lot of solutions for them, including things like Digital 101, which was obviously the low-risk, non-emergency number that people use, and making that available through things like Facebook and WhatsApp and automated on their website as well. So the key really was to try and give the tools to customer service teams so that they could do a better job. And that's really what we've tried to hone in on and repeat through the last 5 years of the company's life.
And before you came on the podcast today, I was doing a little research, and I quickly learned that over the past year alone, Futr has accelerated your work with so many different types of organisations and helping them implement AI chatbots to ensure increased engagement with your end users. And also, I think the ultimate mission is to deliver that seamless customer service experience across all those platforms you mentioned and I also noticed from government to business, your chatbots are now used by over 1,000 organisations worldwide. But just to bring all this to life, are there any use cases you can share with us that will just help everyone listening understand how this could work in their world?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, it's exactly what you say. I mean, we started very much in the public sector, and we continue that's a core part of our business. And so for people like councils, police, what we're doing is we're essentially we're automating as much as we can. So allowing people to self-serve where possible, but obviously what we're not doing is trying to restrict them to that. So where possible, we're then triaging them through to a live chat team or a video chat team so that they are getting the best experience. And those that have self-serve issues that are perhaps low risk or very common can do that very easily, while those that need more hand-holding, that need the extra care, actually get the time of the human resource, the human customer service teams to actually spend with them. So as I said, the police are one, and I'll touch on that, and then I'll move into a sort of an enterprise version. But
sure.
The police is an important one because we've recently completed a pilot with Suffolk Police on reporting domestic abuse. So again, being able to use our technology, and it's not just always automation. The domestic abuse pilot was live chat, but it was multilingual live chat and multi-channel live chat. So instead of just saying, well, look, you've got to phone into the police and you've got to speak to an officer, what we did is we made it available to access that same service through WhatsApp in any language, which is a massive, massive change when people are under stress, under pressure. They may not feel confident enough to pick up the phone. And we saw some massive changes there. So on average, and it's a terrifying stat, but on average, there are 32 instances of domestic abuse before someone reports them. And that's reporting through telephone or in person in the police station. What we found with live chats and being able to message is that dropped down to on average 8 times. So a massive, massive difference. Just, again, using technology that's available, making it easy, making it as accessible as possible in any language on any channel. Equally, we're working with some fantastic companies across the board in the private sector and really transforming how they deal with their customer service. We have noticed that there is just a huge increase in increase in demand and also a change in the shape of demand. So, the culture of immediacy, absolutely. People wanting to access customer services on their own terms and being able to take an existing solution and deliver it through things like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, but also on the website, and allow our algorithms to do as much self-serve as possible before then triaging it through to the sometimes overworked customer service teams has made a massive difference. On average, in the private sector, we've seen 85% of our customer queries being automated, which is a massive amount. Obviously, what we're doing is we're not saying, let's replace humans. Those are absolutely critical. But what we're doing is we're freeing up more time for the human customer service team to be able to deal with the really hard cases. And that crosses over whether it's police, charities, councils, or indeed retailers and some of the high street stores that we work with.
And if before we even talk about the workplace, I think as consumers, we've all seen the frustrations of badly implemented AI chatbots and what they can deliver. So my big question to you is, how have you been able to avoid things like that happening?
It's a great question, and you're right. I think that the chatbot market generally has suffered a big reputational hit because there aren't very good solutions out there. So what we did is we took a step back and we really spent time thinking about how we can access more data in a better way. So just an example, and we do this in a number of different ways. Number one, we've got our own machine learning. Our algorithms are we think superior to anyone else in the marketplace. But just as an example, when it comes to data, we use multiple data sources to find the answers. So we don't say to you, look, it's got to be an FAQ that you load onto our platform. We'll layer that together with your website content, together with document data, PDF, Word documents, your own internal wikis. So invariably, what we're creating is a far richer experience for the customer. The last thing any customer wants to get is, sorry, I don't understand what you're saying, or, yeah, I can't find what you're looking for. So by adding as many data sources as we can and us doing the heavy lifting. So again, it's just point and click on our platform. You just tell us where to look and we'll go off with the permissions and do that. But it means that the experience is far richer and the knowledge base that underlies and underpins our algorithms is so much broader. So invariably, we find the experience is far better. We also layer on all sorts of other things. So it's not just accessing information, it's also accessing processes. So we'll integrate processes like, I've got to cancel an order, I've got to look up where my delivery is coming, I've got to change the date. All of that can be done through the chatbot, as can all sorts of other things. So it's not just the multi-data source that we use, it's also the multi-context, the ability to do a lot of different things within our chatbots, so that, again, all we're trying to do is to try and deflect demand away from those very overworked customer service teams. So, whatever we can do to automate those processes, to allow for self-serve, that's the end game.
And I appreciate you probably can't share too much, but is there anything you can expand on the technology that makes all this possible for you guys?
Well, it is. I think we've developed a few very, very cool proprietary pieces. One, our proprietary context engine, which, just touching on what I mentioned. So that's something that understands the context of what the user's doing. So the user might come in and they might want to complete a survey. They might want to go through a process. They might want to ask a question. They might want to book an appointment. What we've done is we've created a context engine that not only identifies that, but then also tracks that. So we know exactly what context the person is in, and then allows them to jump out and jump back. So if they say, for instance, they're running through a process, a form they might be filling out to, I don't know, change an order, they might just ask a question: why do I need this?
Yeah.
And in any normal chatbot, you'd get it referencing some Q&A database and throwing up the standard answer. What we're doing is we are diverting that. So we're saying, right, you are in this particular context, you are going through this particular process. What is the context of your question? What is the context of the interaction you've given? And I think that makes the experience far richer. As humans and as customer service agents, we have the ability to adapt and listen and pick up context and understand where people are, when and where. And I think a lot of poor chatbots don't do that. So that's a really, really big difference that we have.
And of course, we are reaching that end of that time of the year where we're starting to reflect on all the trends that we've seen and also looking at how they might impact the following year. And I suspect these are areas that you're following very closely. So I'm curious, are there any particular tech trends or AI trends that excite you at the moment?
Well, I think where we're going with the product is reinforcing and using the AI more and more and more, because as you can understand, we're a suite of customer service tools. Some people, like the police, use live chat more heavily, albeit multilingual, real-time translation, sentiment analysis more heavily than some others. But I think we're going to see more and more people move towards AI-led solutions. And that doesn't mean necessarily an upfront chatbot that triages everything. I know, for instance, the police are incredibly risk averse, as they should be. So what we're working with them on is actually introducing AI into the live chat process with our AI suggested answers. So whilst the call handlers, the officers in this sense, in the command and control room, are chatting with people, our AI engines are able to suggest possible answers in real time. So our AI is monitoring the conversation. It's also suggesting answers in real time to make those conversations more efficient and faster. So, whether that is done in live chat, whether that's presented as a triage tool while people are waiting in the queue, what we're trying to do is just make that process simpler and faster, and make those teams more efficient, so that those people that really need them and need to spend the time with the human customer service agents are able to do so.
And I also expect there'll be a lot of business leaders, decision makers listening that may have AI chatbot technology on their list of things to do or priorities for 2023. So for those people, is there any advice you would offer for people listening, thinking about implementing digital transformation initiatives next year?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it probably not as relevant now, but certainly over the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of people stand up and say, well, look, we may want to do this ourselves, especially the bigger organizations, the bigger enterprises, some of the bigger high street stores. And certainly some of the ones that we've spoken to and now work with us had tried to create their own solutions and then said, actually, it's too hard. Let's move it elsewhere. The advice I'd give is look to SaaSes. There are SaaS solutions like Futr out there, which are cutting edge technology. We are at the forefront of natural language processing. We are delivering these solutions across multiple verticals every day. So, the solution we have is plug and play. It allows people to set up instantly, which also means that don't necessarily wait. There's two things that we come across. One is, we may want to do this ourselves. I think that's the wrong idea. The other one is we just don't have the resource. We don't have the bandwidth. It's too big a project to start. I think starting with a chatbot, an auto chat solution like Futr's, is a great way to start that transition, to get into that digital transformation process. And we've seen that in verticals like housing and charities, some that aren't as technologically advanced as the enterprise and the e-commerce and retail sectors that we deal with. So what I would say is, now is a good time to do it, and starting with a SaaS solution that has everything available off the shelf, that is best in class, that is constantly updating, bringing new features on, is definitely the way to do it.
And what about yourselves? Where do you go from here? What's next for you? What's your big focus? And is there anything you can share about the direction you'll be taking next year, just for anybody from your community listening?
Yeah, well, I mean, we continuing to grow. I mean, we've got some fantastic VC backing. And obviously with the customer list ever growing, it's important that we continue to support that. So from a human resource side, we're building our sales team, we're building our tech team, we're building our customer success team. That continues. So if anyone's interested in joining an awesome company that has a great culture and truly believes in tech for good, reach out to me. In terms of the product itself, that's really exciting. Our video chat is now live, so it's live with a couple of our customers, but it's being spread out across the platform later this quarter. As I mentioned, we've got things like intelligent triage and intelligent suggestions. Those are all coming live in the next few weeks as well. So there's a fantastic roadmap ahead, which really hones in on solving the customer service pain points. I think that's really important. But doing so in a very clever way that really frees up more time for human customer service agents to do, more of what they do, great things. So that's the thinking, just to continue to grow, to continue to focus on our bread and butter, which traditionally has been the public sector and the third sector, but also really to expand into the private sector. We've got some fantastic case studies coming out over the next few weeks. Which actually are mind-blowing in terms of the return of investment that we can evidence. And that's really important point to add. With all of our customers, we have a very formulaic process whereby we benchmark where they are when they join us. What does their customer service function look like? How many calls are they getting? How many emails? How many missed calls, etc. And then we show and evidence that return on investment all the way through. And a very big customer who I can't announce just yet, but we should be able to in the next couple of weeks, they got a full return of investment within 2 weeks of going live. And that's an annual license contract return on investment within 2 weeks, which was just astounding. So the kinds of efficiencies and savings that we're seeing as a result of our technology are there to be had, and we can prove it. So it's it's an exciting time to be offering this kind of technology into the marketplace.
Wow, sounds like we need to get you back on next year to find out more about that use case. Now, none of us in life are able to achieve any degree of success without a little help along the way. So is there a particular person that maybe invested a little time in you, saw something in you, or helped the company, or just somebody that you're grateful towards who helped you get where you are today? Who would that be that we can give a little thank you to?
Well, I think it's a great question, and we always look back over the 5 years that we've been in this business, and I've done this obviously previously, but it's always who are those people that really change and make a mark and make a shift. And as cliche as it sounds, it is those core people that we've used to build our team. Yeah. It's those people that have come on board. When we didn't have VC funding, when we didn't have the backing of some fantastic tech VCs, when we didn't have the client list, that we have now, but that really believed in the mission. And there are a handful of people that have come on board who are mission driven, as are Lee and I, who believed in the mission. And that's really important because, as everyone will know, running a startup's never easy. So you've got your ups and your downs and that it's everything's in constant flux. But those people who've joined us along the way, and, particularly, obviously, some of our tech team, people like Bezad and Tanya and Kuram, but obviously some of our sales and customer success team as well, Alice and Cam and Tom and the team, all of these people believe in what we do. We sometimes forget that, it's a big leap of faith. A lot of these people could be working at Facebook. They could be working at WhatsApp. They could be working at some of the biggest tech companies in the UK and in the world. But they choose to work with us And, when I ask them, what is it? What is it that attracted you? Because, it's not necessarily that we're paying higher wages. It's not that we've got the best, the best office in the world. It really comes back down to that mission. What are we trying to achieve as a business? We're trying to democratize access to service. And I think just keeping that mission central to what we do, not only in our communications out to the market, but also just internally, who we are, what our values are. I think that really resonates. And so it's a thank you to them for believing in that and for helping grow it and making it a live thing, not just a soundbite.
Absolutely love that. And for anybody listening that would just like to find out more information about anything that we've talked about today, what's the best starting point?
Our website is a great place to start. So on our website, we talk about all the use cases. We talk about the sectors we cover. We've got a number of awesome ebooks and downloadable assets. And obviously, there's the ability there to just book a demo or chat with one of our team. We use our own chat services. So there's the ability to have a live chat with one of our team, book a demo, see it in action. And that's what I'd suggest. There's no obligation. Take some time, talk to one of our awesome team, let them show you, what the technology looks like, how easy it is, but also let them talk into how we've helped other organizations in your sector. Because invariably there's a story, there's a repeated experience there that we've learned from and that we can help you with.
Well, one of the things I've loved talking to you about today is the story behind Futr.ai, which began, as you said, in 2017 with you and your co-founder, just seeing this massive opportunity to use cutting-edge artificial intelligence to transform the way we access public services, and how you've just expanded from there and helping a myriad of customers across multiple industries. It's absolutely fantastic. But I'd love to get you back on next year, find out more about that story that you hinted at there in the ROI, because I think we often get sidetracked by those shiny new tech solutions, but it's the ROI that business leaders are looking for, and those stories really resonate. So we'll get you back on next year to talk about that. But more than anything, just thank you for sharing the story behind the company today.
No, well, thank you so much for having me, and I'd be more than happy to come back on. It would be a great pleasure.
So a huge thank you to Andy for providing knowledgeable insights into current AI chatbot technology trends, while also offering a practical guide based on his wealth of experience of implementing digital transformation initiative. And I think we've all had experience as users of good AI chatbots, bad AI chatbots, and I'd like to throw this one out to you. What have been your positive examples and the value that this technology has offered? And have you met any friction or negative experiences? And as a business, what challenges have you had? And was today's episode helpful? Whatever it is, I'm open to talk with you on an individual basis about anything at all. If you'd like to come on the podcast and share something with everyone, if you want to leave me a voice note, send me an email, a DM, whatever it is, email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, DM me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, just @Neil C. Hughes, and my website is techblogwriter.co.uk. But we'll keep this conversation going, and we'll also return again tomorrow with another interview with another guest where we'll explore a completely different topic. Hopefully you'll join me. So a big thank you again for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.